Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining the reporting webinar today. I'm going to give everybody just one more minute if you have any stragglers, and we'll get started shortly. Thank you. Looks like we've got some people still joining, hopping in. So again, I'm just going to hold off for another minute and we'll get started. All right, everyone. Thank you for your patience. I just want to give everybody opportunity to join right from the beginning. My name is James. I'm from the hotel team. Today's session will go tops an hour, maybe a little less, depending on how many questions we have. This will be recorded and sent to everyone. It'll also be sent to anyone that registered that wasn't able to attend. So as we go along today, feel free to add in questions. If you want to wait, I will periodically stop for questions, and I may answer some of them as we go along. So we are going to get rolling right now. All right, February 23rd, 2023, our standard and insights reporting webinar. So what are we covering today? We are going to cover standard reporting, and this will give you, standard reporting gives you quick access to lead, booking, event level, preset and customizable reporting. And we're also going to cover insights reporting. So insights reporting will give you more analytical options to hone in on specific productivity and trends to make database decisions for your location. So what will you be able to accomplish in the two reporting platforms after today? So general navigation, how to get around, what the reports mean, how to get into saved reports, create new ones, viewing preset reports. So in both the standard reporting and our insights, there's a lot of preset reports for just click, quick, and go. And creating new reports, of course. So from scratch, customize reports, applying date ranges, specific filters, and filtering in general. So if you have multiple locations, if you want to filter down by dates, owners of bookings and events, and then adjusting and customizing. So whether it's a standard preset report, one you've saved, one you're in the middle of trying to get to how you need it to be, we'll go over those different adjusting and customizing options. And then saving best practices. Want to make sure we're naming everything right, who has access to it, and then general sharing of reports. So how to get these reports to other people in your organization. Now, before we go any further, as always, a good understanding of bookings versus events is important when using any features or functions in Tripleseat. So bookings are the box or containers that hold multiple associated events that share the same account and contact within a given date range. Bookings will always have a start and end date, or in other words, arrival and departure date. And events are single happenings within a given space, such as a meeting or a dinner, that fall within the date range of the booking umbrella. So as you can see here, the booking is the LBC training conference, and that goes from the 17th to the 18th. So that's our shell, that's our box. And within that booking, we have the 3 events below, the LBC lunch and the training session, both on the 17th. And then the following day, that 3rd event within the booking is the breakfast. All right, so let's dive right into our reporting. First up is our standard reporting. All right, so to get there, and I'm going to bring this dashboard. So we land on the dashboard. I've got my left-hand column here. To get to our reporting, I'm going to click on reports on that left-hand column, and I'm just going to toggle this over to give ourselves some room here. So these dashboards are customizable. If I want to see previous 30 days of events, I can go forward next 7 days, months. And that's going to work similar for all of these. And any of these bars or graphs, if you give a quick click on those, it will give you a little mini report of that graph. Let's scroll further down and look at all our reports here. So as I was talking about bookings versus events, all your event reporting will be up top. And as we scroll down further, you've got your bookings reports, and then accounts, contacts, leads, and then some other specific reports down there on the bottom. So you've got a lot of preset reports. For example, I could go to my most booked contacts report and just click last 6 months. And then from here, I can further customize and filter. But definitely on your own, get in on those reports, click around on some of those presets, and then you can further customize from there. But getting in and using it, playing around is going to be the best thing to get most comfortable with reporting. Right now, I want to focus on the booking details report. So let's scroll back up to that. That's under the booking section. So the booking details report, this is going to be a go-to for all hotel and booking doc users, and will give the user a wide range of information. We're going to review some of the standard reporting functions as we build a custom booking details report. So let's say we want to run a report of all booking revenue and details for the past 6 months. I'm going to go to Custom, click Customize. So here you can apply a configuration of date ranges based on the report and results needed. For this one, I'm going to go to the booking start date, and we're going to say the past 6 months. We could also apply date created, definite date, lost date, if we wanted to cross-reference data for sales or productivity. So I could see everything that was created that's applying to the next 6 months of booking, for example. Or if I want to see everything that went to lost in the past 6 months. So you can cross-reference with those different date ranges. The status, location, owner fields, those are not selected by default. So therefore, the report will apply to all unless checked specifically. So let's filter to tentative and definite. And I'm going to go just my Blue Water North location. And let's filter to just one of our owners. Maybe we want to focus on a specific salesperson, what they've been up to. We're going to go with Whitney Spratt. Now, custom fields. Here you can isolate bookings based on your location's custom fields and values. Grouping and sorting. So how you group and sort your report will give you clarity, readability, based on how you prefer to present the report in ascending or descending, by date or alphabetical order. So I can I'm going to group this one by week. I'll sort it by date, and I'll keep it ascending here. Then we get over to our columns tab. The column tab consists of groups, the available columns within each, and the selected columns over on the right. Those can be deleted, reordered, and how this order reads from top to bottom is how it will read from left to right. So what do we want to add here? Under my booking, I'm going to skip over to guest room blocks. Let's see how many room blocks we have. I want my account and contact in there. And again, as I rearrange these, How they're growing from top to bottom is how they're going to read from left to right. Let's add some additional financials. I want my actual before taxes. I want after grand total. Let's put in some guest revenue. I'll put that above here. If we want specific categories, we can add those in. And then some of our custom stuff down below. So let's go ahead and run this report. So now you can see I had this for the past 6 months. I selected these columns. It was just for one of my locations and just one of my sales people, Whitney Spratt there. So I have it grouped by week so I can scroll down, see what happened within each booking. I've got subtotals per week. And as I go all the way down to the bottom, I've got the grand totals on the date range that I had set there. Now I can bounce back in and customize further, change my date range, group and sort it differently, add, delete, or rearrange my columns. Well, we'll say I'm happy with this report right now. I want to save this. So to save the report, we go to that top right button, click Save. I can name this report. Mark who has access either by role in general or specific users. And then I click Save. So my report has been saved successfully. As I go back to my main reporting page, where am I? Right here. And I scroll back down to my booking details report. I can see my new report that I just saved. So now I could take this same report. Maybe I love it. I love the different information it's giving me, but I want to apply it to another specific user. I could customize this. Maybe I want to add Ashley Olson in there, along with Whitney Spratt. Update that. So this is based off my other report. I could then come in, save this, either create a new one based off of that or overwrite the existing. And then maybe I'm running into a meeting or I need to email this report to someone. I can go to the top right here, click export, and that's going to put it into a CSV file for me, and I can send that along. I'm going to stop just for a moment, see if we have any questions or if anybody needs me to go back to anything and clarify further. Okay, no questions yet. Let's review a few other commonly used reports. So again, I got here from my dashboard by going to my reports tab down here on the left. Let's look at our booking payments report. So the booking payments report will help the Tripleseat user get quick understanding at a glance of what's outstanding, overdue, what's been paid, all within a given date range. And that's while being able to filter by payment status, payment type, due dates, paid dates. So I had pre-recorded, or excuse me, I pre-made this report and saved it. Now for this particular report, I have all the payments showing. I could just see what's outstanding, what's been paid. I didn't select any specific types, and I didn't put any filters in here right now, but I did group that by location, and I sorted by booking start date. And then for my columns, I have some pretty basic information here. So as I review my report, I can see my wedding here, what's been paid, what hasn't. I can see what account this is. If I want to jump into that specific booking, I can just click on there. That'll open up a new screen and bring me to the event level. Excuse me, the booking level of that report, and then I can go further into the events, see what's happening there. And I can go back to my booking report. Excuse me, my booking payments report. And if we want to click on the contact of that, I can quickly go there, see what other bookings they've had. And just like our other reports, I could save this, reference it back. I could set these dates ahead of time. So as payments are made, as new bookings come in, I could have payment reports, details reports set for the next 6 months, set every month ahead of time. You can save these reports with those date ranges, and everything will dump into them as it happens. Let's look at our activity report. Let me scroll down, down, down. So the activity report gives a quick summary to help track standard Tripleseat actions for yourself, your sales team. That's all within a given date range. So this report could save you a meeting or two by being able to see what the team's doing at a specific location for the past week or month, and which accounts the actions are associated with. So this was pre-saved as well. So for this activity report, let's see. I just did create account, create contact, create booking. You can get very specific on this. And on the grouping and sorting, I grouped it by user and then sorted by action type. And then the columns, there's not a ton of columns here, but you can get the quick information you need. So I have this sorted by user. So for James D, within that past 6 months, or that date range of 6/22 to 12/22. And keep in mind, this is a test site, so you're not going to get all the cleanest information. But I can see all of these basic activities. I changed event, date, time. Emily Young, all of her changes of events, converting leads to bookings, when they happened. I can jump right into that booking from here, or excuse me, into that account, see what bookings they've had, contacts. Who else do we have in here? Emily had a lot of work within those 6 months. And we've got Derek Seams. He converted a lot of leads to bookings. So it's just a quick way to follow up either on yourself or your staff. And this, of course, can be printed out, emailed along. Let's look at our task reports. So while the activity report is based on standard Tripleseat booking actions, the task report will help you track all of the custom task types that were created specifically for your venue's operations. So I have one saved here as well. So using the due date fields and filtering, you can get a quick report to see where you and your team are at with manual and auto tasks that have been completed, what's coming up soon, what's overdue, and what needs to be addressed. So this report, I believe I did everything that was created within this date range that has due dates within this date range. And I also put in date completed. So grouped by assignees and sorted by create date. And I also have my option to select different columns here. So I can see Ella made all of these calls. They were completed at that time. So those tasks were either assigned automatically or the individual can assign them themselves. But it's going to keep track of when they were created, what the due date was, and when it was completed at. As we scroll down, we can see how they apply to the different bookings. Then we've got another user down here. So whether it's just prospecting, calling, following up, all that can be tracked. Looks like we had a question over there. So is it possible to search a specific amount paid or received and or a specific contact only on a report. So as far as searching a specific amount, no. On the payment report, it will show you exactly what was paid. And then for the specific contact, we can dial down into those specific days and then group it by the account. So it will give you their specific information. So let's go back to, so I could go to my booking payments report. I can go into my saved ones here. And as I click customize, so we would probably want to group that by week. Sort by location. You would want to see what was paid. And we would have to filter that by the owner and the location to get a little more specific. Now, anything that won't filter or group within here, once you export to a CSV file, you can then apply whatever type of calculations or formulas you need. All right, let's check out a lead conversion report. So if you're lead heavy, you're tracking those, this one's going to be very helpful for you. I'm going to scroll down, down, down to my lead conversions. And for this one, I did have it from 9/22 to 12/22. There's just a lot more action back then. I have it grouped by week and sorted by day. So I can see total amount of leads, how long it took to go from contact by itself or all the way into definite, if it went lost. And again, this is a test site. Our fake salespeople haven't been converting those leads at the best conversion rate we'd like. As we scroll down, I think we've got a few more down here. But you'll be able to see within those weeks what your percentage is, how many, then you've got your subtotals per week. And depending on how you have it grouped, you'll have your grand totals all the way down the bottom of within that date range. So those are some very basic actions, functions of our standard reporting. As I said, get in there on your own, plug around, add some filters. If you can't figure out what you need, definitely reach out to your account manager, reach out to support, and we can probably create the report you need and save it for you. I'll pause again now for any questions. All right, so Tripleseat Insights reports. So our standard reporting is fantastic, super user-friendly. The Insights reports is going to dial in a little deeper. It's going to give you a little more analytics. There's definitely some grab and go reports, but you can also customize your reports, save them, share them. So I do have a short video. I'm going to watch along that with you, and let's get that started.
Tripleseat Insights reporting takes your booking and event data and compiles it into a comprehensive snapshot of sales, tasks, projections, and up-to-date financials, giving admins and managers a quick click-and-go experience to make data-based decisions faster than ever. To navigate to Insights, you go from the Reports tab on the left column of your main Tripleseat screen and then click on Advanced Reporting. The Insights platform is organized by 4 sections: dashboards, booking reports, event reports, and sales reports. Basic navigation will be done on the left-hand column that can be resized or toggled out of view. Each group can be collapsed. A quick hover over each report will give you a short description of its function. And the ellipses to the right of saved reports and dashboards will show you the share and delete options. You will start with a defaulted set of graphs when first logging in that can be filtered, and you can create, filter, and save multiple custom dashboards. To make a new dashboard, select plus Create from the navigation panel. To change a dashboard name, click the existing name or the pencil icon at the top of the dashboard. Now let's add a new graph to the dashboard. To add a graph, select the Add Graph dropdown to scroll through the options. Filtering each graph is done by clicking the filter icon within the graph header, adjusting accordingly, and save. To remove a graph, click on the three horizontal lines in the top right corner, click Remove and OK. We can also resize and reposition our graphs to our preference and save the dashboard for future use or sharing with your team. Now let's get into the three sections of reporting. First up is booking reports. It's important to note that booking level reporting consists of the collective totals of single or multiple events throughout the day or week that are associated with one account. As a Tripleseat hotel user, you will have the option to include overnight guest room information on booking level reports. Event reporting is pulled and displayed by the individual event in a given space or area. The event data can be grouped, sorted, and filtered with multiple variations of filters and date ranges. Sales reports supply data on the overall booking and the individual event level. The information is based on past sales, actualized sales, and projected revenue. This section also includes reporting based on your customizable task categories. Within those three sections of reporting, we have three different types of reports: performance, GRC, which stands for guest room control, and comparison. Let's review the booking productivity report. We're going to highlight the functionality and customization options you'll find in your performance-based reporting. The booking productivity report can be viewed as a status change report, and we're going to customize this as if we were an admin or manager that wants to track the progress of yourself or your team. The columns can be selected based on the results needed. The selected columns can be reordered. We can group by multiple columns by dragging and dropping, and further by dragging to the front to set the hierarchy of the grouping. The appropriate columns can also be used to sort your data accordingly. In addition to grouping and sorting, each section can be collapsed or expanded based on how you want to view the data. Now we go into our filters to base our column configuration on the dates, locations, and specific filters. Keep in mind you can cross-reference dates if you want to see what was done in a given time frame that applies to a date range of the actual booking dates. And update. Now I can see what my team did this past quarter towards our numbers for the upcoming quarter, filtered down to our north location and further grouped by owner and market segment to see specific totals. Now I can bookmark and save this report to bounce back to as needed or export to a CSV file or PDF. Now let's view our monthly GRC report. As a group salesperson or hotel manager, the GRC reports will help you make quick data-driven decisions. This monthly GRC report will give the user a quick view of individual booking room counts, total room revenue, and ADR per booking, and daily and monthly totals based on the booking status and then further filtered for more targeted results. Now we'll review the booking annual pace report. This is a comparison report of year-to-year counts of bookings and revenue that go against the year before to display the variances each month. Rows are grouped by status and specified by whether they are new, on the books, or upcoming. If your team needs a quick guide to stay on track of meeting and exceeding last year's sales for each month, this comparison report will be a quick reference to do so.
Alrighty. Thank you for riding along with me for that. So that is one of our newer features, the Insights reports. We've had it for a while, but I'll say it's newer because we've updated it. We've added a lot more functionality, better usability. So if you haven't dove into Insights reports yet, you go to your reports tab from the left, and then again towards top right, click advanced reporting. So this one's a little bit of a mess because I have tons of saved reports. When you first log in, there won't be any saved reports. You'll have your 3 sections, including your dashboards. Definitely create a new dashboard based on what works for you. You can have multiple dashboards if you have multiple locations, depending on what you're jumping in, what day of the week. You can go to that dashboard quickly. You can filter these out. It's going to give you some quick numbers as you hover over. Let's review a few more of our insights reports to get you familiar. So let's look at bookings overview. I think I have one saved in here. Let's look at James's booking overview report. So I didn't really filter too much here. This is going to generally give us the same information, kind of all-encompassing information about the booking. Perhaps I wanted to see, so what's this is going this month, actually. So this is the 1st through the 28th of February. So it's giving us great information, but maybe I want to see what everybody's doing individually. So I can drag this owner column over to here. And now it's grouping by owner. So I can go down, see what Ariana's done within the month, Ben all together. Maybe you want to group a little further. I want to see everything that's happening, or maybe by market segment. So not only do I want to see what my folks have been up to, but I want to see what market segments is applying to that. So I've got Ann Lee's technology. As we get to Ariana, she didn't mark any of her market segments. Ben here has got some corporate business, some technology. I can drop these down if I need to. My totals are down over on the right, subtotals, and I've got my grand totals per user down below here. So this is a super useful tool to check in on your own sales or on your sales team. And based on that video and a little bit of that bookings overview we just reviewed, I'll pause again for a second, see if we have any questions. I think we have a question up there. Guest rooms, is there a place to track guest rooms to budget versus last year? So budget is something that we're adding in right now, and there will be continued upgrades to our advanced reporting. Let's look at our guest room. Annual pace. We've got a lot of fake data in here. It's just taking a moment to load. So this is going to give you general from this year compared to last. Now, as far as budget, some people mix budget along with goal. We do have sales goals, and that's going to be down to our event sales performance. Now, if I filter this out a little further, I'm going to go start of last year. Update there. So you are going to be able to pull all this information, put it into a CSV file, and if there are additional numbers to add into columns, you will be able to do that in Excel or in Numbers. All right, and as far as the budgeting features, when it will happen, you'll definitely be informed as soon as it does. All right, let's move on to an event snapshot. So again, keeping in mind bookings versus events, if we want to see all of that quick individual event information, I can go to my event snapshot. So now it's showing me all my individual events, and I believe I have this grouped by location. And as far as filters on here right now, I have start of this month, end of next month, just my tentative, definite, and closed. But that's going to give me very quick general information. Maybe I want to do some scheduling, do some ordering. This is going to be a quick go-to for that. Now, we had talked about task reports on standard. This is going to give us a little different bit of a format. I like this one better to be able to check in on your staff, see what tasks they've completed within a date range. Again, be able to group this. So maybe I don't want to group it by location. I want to group by user. And as far as which columns, I've got a ton of tasks in here. Again, this being our test site. But if I want to get rid of a few of these, maybe based on their role or based on their location, so I can quickly see per user what tasks they've completed within this date range. And if I have multiple locations, I can see where it's at there. Now, we did already touch on that event sales performance. We can also go event sales cycle overview. A lot of these will look similar. Yet when you go to the columns, there may be less or more. So you can get, these are very specific reports. And as I go to my filters, a little less options here, but less things to get in the way. So I can just quickly see, I want to know when it is, what's the event, how long it took to get to tentative, perhaps definite, and what's my revenue. So some of these reports may be passed up to a boss or for yourself, checking on your staff. But just like your standard reportings, you want to get in there as soon as you can, poke around, try to create the reports that you can. What you can't, reach out for assistance. And if there are specific reports that you want to see that they're clearly not in there, or some of those functions you're waiting on, don't hesitate to reach out to support. They pass it along to our dev team, to our hotel team, and we're constantly upgrading. We've made some custom reports based on specific requests, possibly from some of the people on the call today, and we will continue to do that. So don't hesitate to let us know what's missing, what can be adjusted. We're constantly updating these. What else do we have for questions? All right, so let's just do a quick recap. Our standard reporting, we get there by going to the bottom left. These top graphs can be customized. As we click into any of these, it will produce a quick report giving us some of that information with totals. I can bounce right into those bookings and events from here. As we scroll down to our standard reports, you've got your events section booking details report, payments report below, then our accounts and contacts and some other specific reports. Remember, your booking details report will be your go-to for most standard reporting. You've got the most options for date ranges, custom fields, grouping and sorting, and all of the columns. So that's booking as a whole. If we want to get into those individual event details report, it's going to have a lot of the same columns, a lot of the same language, but those are for individual events within those bookings. So those will be your main go-to reports. And you can get a lot of payment information within those. You can get lead conversion also within those if you don't want to go to those specific lead conversion or details or payment reports. And again, insights reports. So from that main reporting page, we go to advanced reporting. Remember, you can add in multiple graphs. You can filter these out. And always be aware of these little question marks throughout the site. It may lead you to a better explanation of what's going on. It can link you to certain videos or just little tips and tricks. You've got your 3 sections of reporting, your booking, events, and sales. And then within those, as you save reports, they'll mark as saved with their name. If you want to delete one, you can just go to the little ellipses to the right, click delete, or we can share this with someone else from our organization. So there was a question, is there a way to add columns or fields if they are not an option in the filters area? If it's not in the filters area, then you won't be able to add it. However, some of those filters do come from custom fields on the front end. So depending on the report, yes and no. Now, for example, your task report, that's based on tasks that you entered here. If we went to event sales performance, all of these filters are based on your standard billing categories and then all the users within your organization. So if there isn't a selection there, it may be because it doesn't exist, you haven't entered that user in, or maybe that task isn't in there. But keep track if there's something that you think should be in there and you don't see it, and we'll get that rectified. All right, I am going to give everybody a couple of minutes either to come up with any questions you like, grab a beverage real quick, and the webinar will end shortly. We'll give everybody a moment to either go into their own site, look real quick, look over any of their notes, and talk to you in a moment. All right, so there was a question that I wanted to see some clarity on seeing booked revenue. So let's do that in our standard reporting. Again, I'm going to go down to our booking details report. I can go right from custom. I'm going to click customize. Let's see everything in the past 3 months. And I'm not going to filter anything out. I want to see it all. Let's group by week. And as I get to my column section, let's see. I'm going to go to my guest room. I want my blocked revenue. We'll leave the actual in there. We can add a few other things. Maybe I want to see some food totals, beverage totals. And we'll run our report there. So remember, blocked revenue is what you actually block. Agreed revenue will read a little differently sometimes. By default, blocked is going to mimic agreed when you're building your block. But for some of us folks, we know these groups. What we agree to isn't exactly what we block. So just keep that in mind. They could be different. But that is a quick way to see any blocked revenue within locations, whether you group it by week or month. I think that answered our blocked revenue question. And that's as far as standard reporting. And if we go into our advanced reporting for that, a quick, easy way would be the GRC reporting. I'm going to go to the monthly GRC. So over on the left, it's showing us per booking, and then it has all of those statuses within. Now, if I scroll all the way to the right, I'm seeing my agreed revenue, my blocked revenue. If you do use forecast, that could be something different, and along with your picked up revenue. And then I could see my total totals all the way down the bottom here. So that's a couple ways to view your blocked revenue within a date range. And of course, being able to filter that down to specific locations, specific guest room types, or market segments, or even owners or salespeople. Any other questions? Anything I can go back to? Anything you need more clarity on? Or even if you just need a follow-up, go ahead and throw that into the question and answers. Requesting a follow-up if you need a little more info or a one-on-one, and we'll make sure you get everything you need. All right, folks. So that will conclude our webinar today. I appreciate everybody joining. Again, if you joined late or if you know someone that had to leave early, this is all recorded. It will be sent to all of you, along with anybody else that may have registered from your locations that weren't able to make it. They will be emailed a recording of this, and it'll also be up on YouTube. Make sure that you go to the Help and Questions tab at the top of your Tripleseat screen, and then go to Online Learning and Events. It's going to give you a schedule of new user learning, new user trainings, specific webinars, in-person events, party people events. So stay up to date on all Tripleseat events. You're very welcome, Haley, and thank you to everybody who joined. Have a wonderful day, and we'll see you on the next webinar.